Hello, everyone. We're live. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and the gang's all here. Hey, Myra J.
Hello, hello.
And Stephen Hill, you are back in the US of A.
Back in the US of A, absolutely, in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, where the lovely Shantae
RDU.
Moore has a show.
All right.
Has a show tomorrow.
Okay.
Awesome. In the triad there, huh?
That's what it's called. That's what it's called, the Triad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raleigh, Durham. Yeah.
I was on. What was the third one? What's the third part of the Triad?
Raleigh, Durham. I don't know. I just know it's the triad.
Okay.
And I lived in North Carolina. I don't know why I don't know that, but I'm glad you're back. Myra J is back, and we were all on the cruise, and we'll talk about the Tom Joyner Fantastic Voyage in a little bit. Myra, you returned back safe and sound?
Yes, I did. And I have a voice and everything. Fooled y'all this time, didn't I?
Yeah. What happened to that, Myra J?
I don't know because usually I have no voice whatsoever. But I came back healthy and wholesome and
nice.
Look at me.
Look at you, big girl.
I know.
I am currently in Atlanta. We did a conference today with our partner, the Sports Video Group, and part of our foundation is it's called HBCU Bridge, and we are introducing students from HBCUs to careers in broadcasting, specifically sports broadcasting. That's primarily what we're working with, but to let young people know that there's more than in front of the camera or the person with the camera on their shoulder, as we talked about today. And really some incredible people that we met who are professionals in the business. You may not know their name, but you know their work. And some young people from HBCUs in the vicinity were also present. So it was a great mixing and melding of young and more experienced minds. And so if you have questions, get in touch with us at HBCU Bridge. And if you're coming out of or perhaps you are in the middle of your HBCU career, we'd love to help you get an internship what's an internship and what else I forget, but definitely the possibility of going into something you had not explored and introducing them to a whole panoply of careers that are available. Stephen Hill, as a producer, you know what's in that broadcast truck. You know what that looks like and all the people that are there. Myra, you've been in television, you've been backstage, and you know how this works. A lot of people just don't understand all of the work, all of the people that go into making a successful production. And so that's what we are endeavoring and efforting to do here. So, and it's really kind of exciting. We had a number of people in there who were young people in the business with a great deal of exuberance and energy and words of experience in their young years, and some older people who've been in the business and now created history. We have Mark Grant, who is a director for CBS Sports, the first Black person to direct the Final Four.
Wow.
The first Black person this season.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really cool. He's a great guy. And then along the way, one young man who works for a company that is out of New Hampshire, and he comes from Memphis. But he is a great addition to their company as well as to the discussion today, talking about expanding it in the wake of George Floyd and the companies wanting to do something in terms of diversity. And it's a good time, and it's a good time to get into this. I'm telling you. So if you have children who want to get into the business, or, they kind of think they do, and they don't know how they fit in, there's a lot to do. There's so much there. So I'm very excited about that. And so we'll talk about that as we go along, but that's why we were here today, to have this discussion in the Mecca in Atlanta here. So, and sticking around, Myra, to see Mr. Brown and you Friday night at the City Winery. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely. Sonia Glenn, Winston-Salem, High Point, Greensboro, High Point, the Triad. Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and High Point, the Triad cities.
There it is.
There you go. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate that.
It's just
So
a few minutes in, and we've learned so much already.
that's right. Expanding our worlds as we
Mhm.
speak. All right, so let's move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. And this is our Monday through Friday newsletter. It is absolutely free. We'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. And pass it on. Not just pass it on, but subscribe to other people. And when you get the newsletter, please open it. That would mean so much to us and help us out a lot. We appreciate that. And can I just tell you how many people said not only they enjoy what we do in the evening on the stream show, but they like the newsletter as well, and they subscribe. And I send it all to my family, and I'm like, please just subscribe each member of your family. That would be wonderful. But sending it and passing it on, we appreciate that. And just as long as you open it, we really appreciate that.
Opening counts, because you gotta let them know, because opening counts, right?
Opening counts a lot. Yeah.
Subscriptions count and opens count. So it's not just, love the subscription, but also you've got to open it. Even if you're having a rough day and you got to rush, just go, oh, I'm gonna open email. I'm opening it right now.
Right.
And then go about your day.
And then come back later.
Read it later. Yeah.
If you have a couple of minutes when you step off into your little private room there,
right. It's a quick
read. It's a quick read.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And we also give you a video and an audio version, a synopsis of the stories, so that you can, get a quick look at it. And then, as Myra said, come back to it at another time in your private moments. And if you're driving or in a car, not driving in a car, but if you're riding in a car or you're in a subway or some public transportation, it's also a good place. So let's talk. Young Kwyn is not with us. She's traveling for work today. So let's start with her story in the LGBTQ plus file. Target is under fire. They have now removed Pride Month products. They're removing merchandise celebrating Pride Month from store shelves after employees faced threats. People actually came in and they were offended, and they threatened the employees because they didn't like the Pride products that the store has, right? They reported that the company is removing products created by LGBTQ brand Alprolin, which features some products featuring spooky Gothic imagery such as skulls and Satan in the rainbow colors. Conservative activists and media have also bashed Target in recent days for selling now this is one that I did not know about. Target has tuck-friendly swimsuits, women's swimsuits, that allow some trans women to hide their genitalia. The swimsuits are among a group of products under review by Target, but hasn't yet been removed, according to one news source. And in addition to the public criticisms of the company, the video has also emerged on social media of people throwing pride displays to the floor in a Target store. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
I don't like shredded coconut. I don't like lima beans. I'm not going to be in the store demanding that they remove the shredded coconut.
That is not what this country is about. This country is about putting your views on everyone else, and social media has only made that worse.
Yeah.
Right? And it was disgusting to see the people just come into Target just to pull the pride sign down, side down, and stomp on it. Yeah. Like this ignorance on fire. On fire is what it is.
Yeah, it is true. There's an alcohol, the beverage company, that got in a lot of trouble because they had a trans person representing the trans people who like beer. Well, I'm not a trans person, but I like beer. I don't know why you have to buy a 6-pack of Bud Light and shoot it up. It's like, what the Jack Daniels are you people doing?
I can tell you what they're doing. They're running out of fear. They're afraid that they're afraid that their sons or daughters are going to see this and become this. They're afraid that their friends, it's all fear. And when I see stuff like this, I got to be like, okay, so this is how people felt when Black people used to be in commercials, right? Why are you going to have Black folks in commercials? It's no progress has ever happened without resistance. And this is just the first part of the resistance.
Well, let me just be silly for a moment. Can we go back to the tuck swimming suit?
Tuck friendly.
Yes, tuck friendly. Because if I did, okay, that's a cool thing. But I'm just thinking if they can make a swimming suit that can hide something, then I think all of us would a little extra around the middle.
Yes.
They need a tuck suit for
Period.
the tummy. Yes.
There it is. There it is.
Tuck that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tuck this and around on the side too. And for the boy shorts, let's get that. Okay.
Yeah. 2 drops in a bucket. Let's just tuck it. I'm like, come on, y'all. Come on.
Of course, what I do love about those suits is they have regular tuck it and then they have Magnum tuck it. So that's great.
There you go for the transgender of color. Yeah. Why would you want to get rid of that? So I'm just wondering what people feel about that, and I think you guys make great points. That it's a fearful thing. It's like maybe you're fearful of yourself becoming one of them. I don't know, but or your children, like Steve said. But it's so maddening. Here's an example that Kwyn gives in her story. In 2011, some on the right demanded that Urban Outfitters stop selling fabrics bearing the pattern of an Arabic scarf because they claimed it was tied to terrorism. Like Target, Urban Outfitters gave in to the bigots, pulling the item due to the sensitive nature of the scarf while apologizing if we offended anyone. Well, you know what? You offend me by pulling it.
Yeah.
But I know business is business. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm torn. I'm torn. I'm torn on this. I felt the same way at first, and I thought Target has to protect its employees, and the employees were in the line of fire.
Yeah.
And so if they pull the products because they didn't think it all the way through, but then come in the long term, come with a statement saying like, okay, we did it this time, but next time we're having more security, we're not going to let these bullies take us off the products long term, then I understand it. On the short term, you got to protect your employees.
Yeah.
But I really hope they bring these products back and bring them back with more security in the long run. That's the hope. If
they can afford to do that, for sure. I mean, they've already taken books off the library shelves, books off the store shelves, because parents were offended by that. Poor Amanda Gorman, they took her poem out of the library because one mother who doesn't even read, admittedly, doesn't even read, she didn't like the tone of the Amanda Gorman poem that was created for the Biden inauguration in 2021, 2 weeks after. I'm not sure how she felt about the 2 weeks earlier where thousands of people came to Washington, D.C. and tried to tear down the country, not to mention the Capitol. But that's I guess that's okay. That kind of demonstration is okay. But showing your support for people in the gay community, not so much. Transgender people, definitely not. So we also talk in the newsletter about, I never thought I would say this. Poor Kevin McCarthy. Boo-hoo. Kevin McCarthy's job is on the line as Speaker of the House. The far right, the very conservative of the Patriots and all of that, they are looking for any opportunity to get rid of Kevin McCarthy, and this may be this. You'll remember when Kevin McCarthy was trying to become Speaker and he was rallying the troops, and it took 15 rounds of voting for him to finally get the job. One of the concessions was all it would take was one vote of someone who say they did not like them, did not like him. And that would be enough to kick off a vote to get rid of McCarthy as Speaker of the House. So they don't like the agreement that the Republicans and the Biden White House came to in order to extend the debt as well as to do some reductions to the budget. They say it doesn't go far enough as far as the Republicans are concerned. The progressives in the Democratic Party say, no, it goes too far. And so right there in the middle, there's a sweet spot that the Republicans and the Democrats managed to meet right there. And those on both sides, extreme to a fault with the Republicans and extreme to the fault with the Democrats. But the Democrats say that they're looking out for not only their constituents, but a lot of these Republicans who want to take away social programs and add more things to social programs to getting benefits such as food stamps requiring people to work at it for a longer period of time to an older age in order to get SNAP. They say, all working people, all able-bodied people should be able to work, and they don't want to make it easy for anyone to get a bite of food and that they may need, because what they're doing, what they're working at is not paying them. And I said working at, where they are working does not pay them enough. And so a lot of people are on food stamps. And now they're saying you have to go beyond 50 in order to receive these food stamps. And one of the things that is kind of on the edge there are the president's move to extend grace to students and their student loans. That's before the Supreme Court. That's one reason why it was not included in this. If the Supreme Court, if it weren't before the Supreme Court now, I'm not sure where it would be as far as the Republicans and their votes are concerned. But the big vote is taking place in the House tonight. And if it does pass, then it goes on to the Senate. Tonight being Wednesday. And then it goes on to the Senate. Any thoughts about all of these machinations?
The roof is on fire. Otherwise known as the debt ceiling, but the roof is on fire. And a lot of Democrats saying, we don't need no water, let them burn.
Right.
Look, no one's happy, right?
Right.
The definition of a good deal is that no one is happy in the deal. No one got everything that they wanted. But it was crucial that a deal happened for the American people to move on. I think is the vote happening, or the vote happened already?
It is happening. What they had last
Currently,
night
right?
was the House Rules Committee. So it got out of committee, and now it goes before the full House.
Right.
And there's a lot of phone calling going on, a lot of, hey, buddy, hey, girlfriend, all of this. And the progressives are saying, President Biden, love you, but no, this doesn't work for my people. And a lot of Republicans are saying, no, we want more fat cut from the budget. And a lot of programs that they're cutting back were in the president's infrastructure plan. And they're doing everything they can to get rid of the programs initiated by the Biden administration.
Let me tell you, you don't want a bunch of angry veterans,
right?
Senior citizens rolling up there on their walkers with their grabbers. Okay, bring your grabber, Margot. We're rolling up. You don't want to see that, okay?
Right, yeah, and that's just a funny visual you just gave us there, Myra. I don't know who Margot is, but I can imagine she's a fun time.
Grabber. She has a grabber.
She has a grabber. That's all you need to know. One of the other things, Cameron Riley in the newsletter talking about who really started Memorial Day, and we're number one. We started it. Former slaves and former slave owners, no, just the former slaves, paying tribute to those in the Civil War, and started this. It was May 1st, 1865. Thousands of newly freed Black people gathered in Charleston, South Carolina. I believe that's a part of the Triad. 3 weeks after the surrender of Robert E. Lee and 2 weeks after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And they have, recalled this story about white missionaries and teachers from the North helping organize this historic event with the former slaves and Black men who fought for the Union, and bringing this back to our attention, and rightly so, about how this all started. And I remember as a little girl, my grandmother and my mother calling this Decoration Day. And up until 1970s, where Memorial Day became the holiday, and it was no longer Decoration Day. They would go to what they do now, go to the cemeteries and put flowers and flags and things like that on the graves of those who were lost, who gave their lives during the Civil War, and now people who died in war or it's serving the country. And so it's not and this is where happy Memorial Day. And I don't say that because it's not a happy moment, but you are giving recognition and respect to those who made the highest sacrifice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I told my girlfriends in one of my text chains the other day, I said, I don't say happy Memorial Day, but much respect to those whose families have had losses and things like that. And I don't know if this counts as a loss, but I had a cousin who was lost after he came back from Vietnam. I don't know what the war did to him, but he not quite the same after.
More people should think that counts. More people should consider that as something that counts for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Also like you to take a look at Black Health Matters. And this week we're talking about alopecia. That is something we don't talk about, but it is an attack of our autoimmune system. And as a result of that, people and more Black women than any other, yay, we're number one, once again, are affected by this. So take a look at that, as well as go to the Black and Missing Foundation, the column there, and find out about Jania Thompson, who's been missing since April 24th from Temple Hills, Maryland. That's
I'm gonna go on a limb here. Although the last guy that joked about someone with alopecia got smacked around a little bit. But I do want to say,
okay.
I do want to say, I think it's ironic that we're talking about alopecia on a day when your hair is looking so fire.
Thank you.
Sybil Wilkes' hair is on fire. Coiffed.
To the max.
Coiffed.
Merci. So take a look at all of those things. We ask you once again to please subscribe to the What You Need to Know newsletter. We'd appreciate it. And just go to SybilWilkes.com and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. Thank you kindly. So let us move on to what's really going on, the question of the day. And we were all there this year. I missed a couple of years. I was like 4 years past, and I was like, wow. I didn't realize until I got on the ship it had been that long since I had been there, Myra. And it was really, I got very nostalgic as we were going through the week, seeing people I hadn't seen in a long time, reconnecting with people, some of the things that I did, like the art auction, which I absolutely love doing, and things like that. So those were highlights for me. And of course, and I'll save this, but those
I know what you're gonna say.
So many highlights. Shantae Moore. She is amazing. Your wife.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Fire.
Absolutely.
My wife is she's kind of awesome. Look, I'm still amazed every time I see her, and I've said this here before, and I say it, and you saw her on the cruise. She's just spectacular at her craft, able to control an audience in a way that very few can, because that voice is fire seems to be the optimal word to say. Fire. And this is the epitome of like me talking about it like she's not here, because she's like legit right there
across the room.
Like legit right there. Now that we've checked in the hotel, right there.
Within grabbing distance, which I'm sure is very frequent for you.
That's an 801 activity. So
okay. That was a great time. And can I just tell people who missed that particular show with Shantae and her duet with Charlie Wilson?
Yeah,
spectacular. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you didn't see it, there were enough people doing this, a lot of this.
Yeah,
you can find the video. You can surely find the video. Yeah, you can check it online. Look at Charlie came to. I ain't gonna lie. Charlie came to. Not that many shows, a few shows, but was sitting front row for Shantae Moore, and then Shantae came over, and her awesome band, Kern Cullen and West jump into like Yearning for Your Love. I don't know how they knew what key, whatever it was, but Charlie was right in there, and to hear his voice after so long on a stage, well, just below the stage, he was the only person I was okay holding on to my wife that tight at any point in time. So
And,
yeah, but it was just
and his
it was
wife
amazing.
and his wife said the same thing. But that is my very favorite Gap Band song, Yearning for Your Love. So to have the two masters right there singing that song, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I am so good. What about you, Myra?
The highlight of the cruise?
You have, what do you have some highlights?
Oh my gosh. Well, shall I say it? Shall I say his wonderful name?
Yeah.
Mr. Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
OMG. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If there was
so for those of us who got off early, can you tell us some of the songs as you're still going through? Just mention some of the songs that he performed live for some of us who had to get off a little early.
Oh, you didn't see him? Oh
no. This is a real question. This is not a setup. I like for real. I didn't get to see it.
Ribbon in the Sky, Fingertips. I mean, it's easier to think what didn't he sing? It was just think of. Actually, he didn't sing Pastime Paradise and Ash.
He did not. Yeah.
Those were the two that I was laying for. Everything else, he sang it. At one point, and I don't remember the song, but he said that it reminded him of his mother and he got choked up. And you could just see the whole audience collectively.
Wait, he did Joy Inside My Tears?
That's it.
That was it.
Oh, I'm very familiar. I know that. I know that story. Oh my God, he did that?
Yes, he did. That was the song. Yes, sir. Oh, he's done. We just lost.
We need Shantae, revive your husband, please. Please revive your husband. Yeah.
Wow.
And for me, and Stephen Hill had said this is going to be the blackest show Stevie Wonder has ever done. You're not going to hear a lot of the pop stuff. You're going to hear Stevie Wonder singing some real Stevie Wonder to the heart songs. He did ask people, he wanted to know which would you rather hear, Ribbon in the Sky or You and I? There's two schools, okay? Mm-hmm. So some people got married to Ribbon in the Sky. Some people were hoping to get married to You and I. So I was of the You and I crowd, and then there were the Ribbon in the Sky. So he ended up singing a mash of both. And so that was, and what I just want to hear him sing, Don't You Worry About a Thing. That's all, it was like, that was. But
he did Master Blaster.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Sure.
Look,
did.
if he's doing Master Blaster, Fingertips, Joy Inside My Tears, my prophecy rang true. It was one of the blackest shows he's ever done. Like he didn't. Yes. Oh.
Woo. Yep. Yeah. He was, and he just seems so comfortable, and in terms of really telling people, we got to get out there. We got to be about the business of our people, and really, weaving that in with the songs and letting people know that he's out there doing it and we need to be out there with him. That there's a lot of work that needs to be done. What he did in the 1980s in terms of getting Martin Luther King's birthday to be a national holiday with Mrs. King, he understands the seriousness of where we are now. He has not forgotten that Stevie from 40 years ago. He's out there, and he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and wants us to join him in that force.
And I did not hear this, but someone told me that Tom mentioned later that night that Stevie said that the money he made from the show, he donated it to HBCU. What
he was paid to perform. He did 2 shows, not outside. He did them on the main stage. What he was paid, he turned around and made that donation to the Tom Joyner Foundation.
Amazing.
Amazing. Very cool.
Michael Stallworth on Facebook asked, did he play Another Star? The answer is yes. I actually saw a video of that. That's one of the videos that made me go like, oh, hurt me now. Yes, he did perform Another Star.
Yeah. Regina Glover, Stephen, what's the story behind Stevie Wonder's song?
I don't know what that means, but if you're talking about Joy Inside My Tears, it was Stevie Wonder's mother's favorite song. Of all of his songs. That was her favorite song, and ever since she passed away a few years ago, he performs it rarely. When he was on the when he did the Songs in the Key of Life, of course, he performed it every night. But outside of that tour, he performs it rarely, and when he does, he goes into the story about how that was his mother's favorite song, and that's the song I believe he sang at her funeral. as
Mhm.
well.
Okay.
So it's on Songs of the Key of Life, of course.
Yeah, he got really choked up. Yeah.
So Stevie Wonder is one of my favorites of all time, and I've been very lucky enough to see some of the most incredible performers. Thanks to Stephen Hill, saw Elton John on stage, just Elton and the piano, and thanks to Tom Joyner. All 3 times I've seen Stevie Wonder are thanks to Tom Joyner. One was when he did the Sky Show Myra in Miami.
Yep. With
The second
and
time,
India Arie. I remember.
yeah, with India Arie, right, and that was amazing. The second time was Stevie Wonder at Madison Square Garden, and the third time was last week on the Fantastic Voyage. And every time it's an awesome adventure, obviously.
It is.
I just want to go inside that man's mind and his heart, because that combination of what he's able to do and his skills are just inestimable.
The last time I saw Stevie Wonder, I think, was actually here in Atlanta. I don't even remember if I was living here then, but I remember we had a Sky Show, and we had been instructed by our boss not to go see Stevie Wonder down at Phillips Arena. And the next thing I know, there was a tapping on my shoulder going, somebody said, Tom said you were probably here to get your butt back to the hotel. I was all up in the Stevie Wonder concert. Yeah, nobody knows I'm here.
Right. It's sort of like when we would do the Sky Show and people would say, my boss doesn't know I'm here and you're on the air for the world to hear you. Yeah. And then your boss is across the room saying, you're supposed to be at work. Exactly. It's one of those.
Exactly. That would be so funny.
Yeah.
Like, oops, yeah. But he was well worth it. So
what,
good.
Steve?
What?
So speaking of, no, it's off topic. I'll say. So there was once I was at a radio station once where
this one time.
This one I was at the radio station, and the midday person would be on the air, and it came out years later that when the midday person on the air, that person's mate would listen to that person on the radio while cheating on that person in their house. And so when you talk about like, yeah, you're gonna be on air, that popped back in my mind. I was like, oh, wow. I feel bad for those two. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. That's why I said it was off topic, but like that stuff happens in radio.
Yeah.
And then Stevie Wonder comes back and sings Lately.
But when he's saying I wish, I mean everybody just on their feet and just word for word, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it just took me back. To a great time.
Took a video of him actually getting off the ship, and it was so cool because he just turned to the entire ship and just waved at everybody. It was so nice. It was just so freaking nice.
And I know he can feel it. I know because you could just on the stage, but you just want him to know, that Stevie, how much we love you. And I hope that he does feel that extension of love.
And he ended up doing 2 shows. And for anybody who was there, was like, they said it was going to be outside. Well, they changed it because there was a possibility of rain.
Was there
God.
ever?
It poured.
Did it really?
Oh my God! The heavens opened
Jamaica,
up. Not once.
Yes.
But like several times.
Yes.
It was just awful.
He was inside, and so that's why he had to do the 2 shows to accommodate everyone, and we didn't get wet.
Right. Yeah. And neither did Stevie or his equipment.
Yes.
Right. So it was incredible. Myra, did you also get to see Charlie in the 2 a.m. show?
Oh, you must not have been there.
Dear. No, that was
of course
we got
not.
off after Stevie.
Of course not. When he gave me a personal shout out. I keep telling y'all I was part of the Gap Band. I was in the Gap Band. I was in Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I was in War. Y'all gonna put some respect on my name. Yes, he did. He was great, and he was in pain. He said he's had a couple of back surgeries and stuff, and so he sat down more than he usually does, but that voice was not affected. Much energy. It was a great show. And yes, she did say Charlie Wilson at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Like the old days.
Yes.
On the
it was packed. Yes, it was.
I bet it was. Oh, those are some good times. I'm glad you got to see him. We had to get off for high school graduations, but I had to see Stevie. I had to, and thanks to Lou Calhoun and all those folks for making that possible for us to do that. So that is a little recap of the. And I do want to thank all the people who came up and they watch us. As I said, Party Bus Ruffin came up as we were getting off the ship in Jamaica and introduced himself to us, and so it was really very cool to meet a lot of people who make comments and join us every day here Monday through Thursday. So thank you very much. Let's move to trending, and I do want to mention first of all, Steve, you are in Raleigh-Durham for your bride's concert. Where is that and when?
We're at tomorrow night with Kirk Whalum and the lovely and talented Shantae Moore at North Carolina. I think it's called the Museum of the Arts. There's an outdoor facility at the North Carolina Museum of the Arts in Raleigh-Durham. If you're there, get your tickets. I think there's like 3 left, so hurry up.
hurry.
She's an odd number left. It's odd number. I don't know why.
She's coming to Dallas soon too.
Yes, and it's funny. I saw that Barbara Ferguson on YouTube. Stevie's on the bucket list to see, but so is Patti LaBelle. And if you're in Dallas, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and the lovely and talented Shantae Moore on June 18th, Father's Day. Yeah. I'm sorry, is that Father's Day, baby? Yes, Father's Day. Yes.
Or somebody you just called daddy. Absolutely.
Eavesdropping. That's funny.
So we're looking forward to that. Myra J., you are going to be appearing this weekend in Atlanta.
Yes, I am, along with the fabulous J. Anthony Brown. He is taping for a special, so this is going to be a special show at the City Winery. It's 2 shows, 6:30 and 9:30. Get your tickets. It's going to be so much fun.
That's on Friday.
Yes, Friday.
The 2nd.
June 2nd, yes.
Wow, where did the mother May go? My God.
I know.
I do also want to mention that while we were on the ship, and speaking of somebody that's just an incredible performer, Tina Turner passed, and at the age of 83, and that hit me. And I shared it on social media, going to see her musical, the Tina Turner musical in London. This one weekend, we got on a plane from Dallas, flew to London. We saw the Tina Turner musical. We ate great Italian food, and we flew back to Dallas. And that was a moment in time. I've met Tina Turner once, and that was when I was working in Chicago at GCI. And I have 3 autographs. 3 autographs. That I ever went to someone and asked for their autograph. One was a gentleman who was the first African American to sail around the world solo. His name is Mr. Pinckney. The second person is number 23, Michael Jordan. I met him like in his first season with the Chicago Bulls. And the third person was Tina Turner. And I didn't go through all of the drama that, a lot of people identify with, about regarding domestic abuse and things like that. But there was something just such badass about her that just, that she was the queen of rock and roll and still is, I think, for all intents and purposes. I think that she will always be the queen for me. And I just love the way, teaching Mick Jagger how to do what now people refer to as the Mick Jagger. It's actually the Tina Turner across the stage.
The strut, baby.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And the fact that people wanted to run away and be, a member of her band or one of her backup dancers, like Oprah wanted to do, and Gloria Rubin, the actress from ER, did, and things like that. That's pretty badass. And the fact that she not only survived all that she went through, but she thrived. And I think that was a great lesson that I gathered from all of what she went through in her life, and how she just brought like Tom Joyner. She came out there every time she performed and just left it all on the stage.
And 50 years later, if you still want to turn out karaoke,
Okay.
Put on that Rolling on the River.
Okay.
I've seen men and women jump on stage waiting for that part. They are just ready for it. They are ready for it all these years later. What a great
I had forgotten that the old alum Jackie Reed and I had done a version of that
Yes.
at Deborah Lee's house. We did at Deborah Lee's house. We did a karaoke version of that.
See?
That's hilarious. I'd forgotten about that.
Was there adult beveraging going on?
Oh,
Because it doesn't have to be
a lot
for
of it.
you.
A lot of it.
Okay.
Maybe it's in the book. Listen, here's the thing. I was, and I put this on social media. I was not a big fan of the music because it was really it's kind of even for a while. But man, when the first time I saw her perform the first time in 1987 in Oakland. And I've never been blown away by a solo. She's the first solo performer in front of a band that blew me away. Now, this is pre, Michael Jackson had been with the Jacksons, but like as a front person, who was just, there's no one who destroyed a stage like Tina Turner did from the beginning of when she came out exploding through the last song. There was just no one on stage with her. I'm glad you mentioned how much she influenced, taught, whatever you call it, Mick Jagger, because that's all.
I actually saw her in the early 80s when it was Ike and Tina Turner, yes.
Oh.
With Rare Earth, yes.
Oh man, Myra.
Yes, I did. And ever since then, I was like, I got that dance down. I can do it. I saw it live. I'm also an Ikeette, yes, in my mind.
Yeah. And I remember the first time seeing her, and I think it was, and I never really liked the big venues, but now at this stage I like to see them in smaller venues. But at the United Center in Chicago, it was like 86 maybe, so it might have been the same tour that you saw, Steve, in Oakland. But I'm telling you, I never seen drunk white men being so excited over somebody's performance like that. It was like going to a Springsteen concert, which is like 3+ hours long, right? But everybody coming away and like Myra, trying to do the Tina, and it was like, you guys are too drunk to know better what fools you look like. But everybody was caught up in her energy and the way she performed. She was a hell of a performer, and from all eyes looking into her life, just an incredible life, not only well lived, but lived to tell the story and to help others. I think she really did it. So definitely, absolutely the best.
Before I forget, Courtney Nicole from Assisted Living is also on the show with Jay. I didn't want to leave her name off. Okay.
Yeah, and Jay is, as Myra said, is filming his first special. We met a young man today that is part of the directing team of that, and all we could say is, God bless you. Good luck. But we're looking forward to. We're going to be there to support you guys. More Republicans are entering the primary campaign season. Chris Christie, God bless him.
Bless his heart. That's all I can say. Bless his heart.
Is said to have a super PAC now that is going to fund his campaign during the primaries. And Mike Pence.
Bless his heart.
Really?
I know. I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Mike Pence talking and Trump talking about each other. This is gonna be fun.
But is he going to talk about? Is Mike Pence really going to drop some real dimes and just some incredible moments?
Remember, I said this. Mike Pence is going to be real paper cut with it. He's going to be like he's going to throw it out there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? Right? He's going to be real subtle with it and real, not subversive, but like he's going to go under the skin just a little bit to get Trump to do something stupid.
Every time I think of him, I always think of the game as like, Mother, may I? Captain May, Mother, may I say this about him?
Mother, because that's how he refers to his wife.
Mother.
Mother.
Mother, may I say something about the former president? He's just so lukewarm to me.
Well,
let's not forget he's the guy who said I'm not going to be in a meeting with a woman alone.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's pretty provincial. And I guess that means that he will not go with Nikki Haley as her running mate if that time should come, because you got to have mother with him while he's in a meeting. I
want to tell him he really has nothing to worry about.
He's not going to get that far. Well, she might not either for that much. But we haven't talked about the fact about Tim Scott jumping in the race. Do you guys have any thoughts on the second Black Republican jumping in?
I do. Next.
You almost had me do a Danny Thomas there. Thank you.
It's like
I think Haley's got a shot. Haley, don't discount Haley. Don't discount. She's kind of a voice of reason, younger. I think she may.
She's gonna end up on the ticket as somebody's vice president, probably, because I just think Republicans are way too conservative to put a woman in the out front.
Well, for a long time, Myra, the thought was that Republicans were going to be the first to put a woman in the White House. You remember back in I guess it was the 90s, there was a lot of talk about that they were moving further along at women being in power than Democrats were. And then, took a turn with Hillary and running for president, and the Republicans kind of fell to the wayside. But I think that she's probably going to be a second, and I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't know who's going to be number one. And that bothers me, that you might get rid of somebody in Florida, but only to have him, try to run the country. Just, whew.
Trump versus Biden, yay! Woo, yay!
And nobody is excited about that either. Trump's numbers are going down. Biden's numbers, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I'm really interested how they're going to utilize the vice president, Kamala Harris, in all of this too. Because you'll see her, she was the first woman to give a commencement address at West Point, and she's out in front on the abortion bill and bills, I should say, around the country. It's I'm hopeful about her role in the re-election campaign, and not just for the newness of it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of people just kind of throwing things at her just because they don't have anything else constructive to say. Yeah. So we'll see. Check this out, you guys. Most nurses of color report workplace racism. Black nurses in particular deal with discrimination from patients and peers, according to a survey. This is a recent survey that came out about the fact that Black nurses are really paying the price because of the color of their skin. They're not respected by the doctors, they're not respected by the patients, and they're not respected by their white peers. The white nurses.
Wow. Anybody surprised?
Wow.
I am because Lord knows I have all the respect for all the nurses in my family, and I never heard them talk about that type of racism because they all just work so hard. And I thought, good hard work respects good hard work, but not by your own. In that same, you're not surprised, Myra. I know you wrote a TV episode about not wanting to go to a Black doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was actually my nomination with the
Humanitas Award.
Yes, and Humanitas, and basically it was an old Black guy going into surgery. His white doctor wasn't available. The Black doctor comes in and says, I'm going to take over. He freaks out because he doesn't want a Black doctor, has a heart attack, comes to the Black doctor, saved him and said, he was like, okay, fine. I'm being all prejudiced. He says, but I'm not going to be your regular doctor. Another doctor's coming in, and you tell me, is it a man? Black woman comes in and he's like, oh, hell no. And he goes out, because it's a sitcom. But that was really just based off of many times Black people, our own, being a little prejudiced about our own, which is unfortunate.
Yep. They say that some people call this the open secret of nursing. And like many U.S. institutions, healthcare and nursing retain an enduring legacy of racism. They don't even have to wear the white starched dresses and caps anymore, but the white folks don't treat them with respect. A new survey from the National Commission to Address Racism in Nursing. This is a commission to address racism in nursing, reported discrimination from patients and their families, but also coworkers and supervisors.
And I bet you'd find the same thing with Black doctors.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I believe that.
Hold on. There's almost an acronym here. Committee to what is it?
One second. Hang on. It's funny.
Committee to
in the National Commission to Address Racism. So the NCARN.
Carn.
The NCARN.
Okay, never mind. All right, NCARN. No,
Okay.
It was different. All right, I was gonna go for it, but no.
I like where you're going though.
Yes.
So that is. Oh, and I also want to mention. I don't know if you all knew this man, Myra. I don't know if we talked about it in our text chain, but there's a wonderful actor. His name was John Beasley. He passed away this week. And John Beasley was in a show that I'm revisiting now, and I watched it in its original run, but now it's kind of my nighttime pablum. It's called Everwood, and John Beasley played the husband of this woman, white woman, who was a nurse and a former. She was a veteran of the Army, and they had a really interesting relationship. But he was the only Black person in Everwood, except for a couple of guest spots. But he was a wonderful actor. He was also on Soul Man. I'm sorry.
Was he in Fences?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a star of stage and Broadway stages, and just a really wonderful character. And when I came back to Everwood, and you know how you kind of Google people to find out where they are or hope they're still alive, and he returned to his home state of Nebraska and opened up a theater. And that's where he spent some of his most active years. According to his son, he established the John Beasley Theater and Workshop in Omaha and ran it for the last 13 years. Just an incredible life story. He was also in Brewster's Place. People may remember him. And I don't know how I came back to Everwood, but he used to be the narrator of the show. But just a really good show, really good. And I'm so sorry for the loss. Just a really fine actor and seemingly a fine gentleman. So I want to leave it there and let us move to entertainment. I got a couple of stories for you there from the Say Hello to My Little Child department. Al Pacino is going to be a father again.
You know, when you are firing your own grandchildren at this point, I'm like,
Al Pacino is 84 years old. He's got a 29-year-old girlfriend.
That's right. You know why he has? You know why he does? You know why he has a 29-year-old girlfriend?
Because
does he know that he has one?
Because he can.
This is going to be his fourth child. His next oldest child is 8. He also has, I believe he has teenagers with Beverly D'Angelo, the actress.
Twins, 22 years old.
Okay, 22. Okay. With Beverly D'Angelo. And
this
and
is
now
your sister auntie.
Yeah, so his girlfriend is going to be changing diapers on both ends of the spectrum, apparently.
My sister, my aunt, my sister, my auntie, my sister, my auntie.
But you know, if you can't handle it, good on him.
Look, here's the thing. Robert De Niro at 79 had a kid, and Al Pacino basically said, "Hold my beer."
Guys 79? Are so excited.
You think you got this? Come on. Of course, we're excited about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. She's going to be changing her grandfather. Yes.
Wait. The part we left out is that this is a former girlfriend of Clint Eastwood, Mick Jagger, and some of the old dude I'm leaving out.
There's another
over 60.
Older
there's another old
celebrity.
Dude.
Yeah.
Right. Clint Eastwood, Mick Jagger. There's another over 65.
I know.
Man.
I just said she hooking up with
Can
all
you
these
say
other
daddy
guys,
issues or no? No.
and they all lived. You know.
Well, she must be doing something right, because they all are still around. Oh, and the other story I want to talk about, while we find out who that third celebrity was, Tupac is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, how cool.
He'll be the next name to be immortalized, getting a posthumous honor on that famous strip of land in Hollywood. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce announced that Big Boy will MC the event June 7th, and his sister, Set Shakur, will be on hand to accept the star on her brother's behalf, along with other folks like Alan Hughes and others who are part of the new Pac documentary, Dear Mama. And that is the saga of Afeni and Tupac Shakur. So congratulations to him posthumously. And that is our look at entertainment. We'll close out with our daily inspiration. Your age does not make you wise. Seeking wisdom does. So inhale wisdom. And I love this part. Exhale foolishness. That's just foolishness. Exhale it. Get rid of it now. Inhale wisdom, exhale foolishness.
Can I answer one thing?
Uh-huh.
Regina Glover on Facebook says, no, Stephen, Pacino's girlfriend has money issues. Let's be clear. This is no. I want to be clear. This woman is from a family that has a lot of money.
She's very wealthy.
They make De Niro's and Pacino's bank account look like mine, right?
Yeah,
right?
right.
I mean, like it's just embarrassing how their bank account is compared to. She is richer than all of these dudes.
Right.
That's part of the fascination.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is granddaddy issues. It's not about the money. Not this time. I will go along with you, Regina, on a lot of those, but this time, I think her grandparents invented money, dollars. So Yolanda, and let us move on to remind people that the HBCU football classic season is on its way. Check this out.
Get ready for an epic showdown on September 16th as Morehouse and Albany State take the field for the Toyota HBCU NY Classic at MetLife Stadium.
Football season is back, and this is the game you can't miss.
Join us for the world's largest HBCU homecoming to experience the thrill of HBCU culture like never before.
Enjoy the ultimate celebration with a pregame tailgate, battle of the bands, and an iconic halftime show.
Don't wait. Get your tickets now at hbcunyclassic.com.
Hey, thanks, you guys. I appreciate you. It was great to see you all in person and not just virtually. That was a fun time for us. And I hope to see you all again next week. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.
Bye. Be safe, everyone.